Why, hello, you beautiful people. Welcome into the new episode of The Tea with me, Hunty. Today's tea. I cheated and I went to McAllister's because it's my favorite. You already know. Sometimes when we have warm spells here in Tennessee, it's too hot for hot tea. So we are just going to do some iced tea today. So that's what we're doing. But did we survive the holiday season, y'all? Oh, did we survive? Okay. I barely did. You know, if you know me, I don't really celebrate the holidays like I used to. I'm no longer a Christian. And the holidays are a weird thing for me, because they used to be my favorite time of year. But whenever they go from being your favorite time of year to like you're not welcome at home, and because you're gay and you can't come around if you have a boyfriend and all that stuff, like that stays with you, even though it gets better and has gotten better over time. That doesn't leave your body. So holidays were kind of like, for me. Reclaiming them, which is great, but with my kind of going more the pagan tradition, so I kind of reclaimed them and started doing Yule. And, so this year I tried to have some fun with it and all that, but it was a very weird year. It was definitely a weird year, so. But I hope you've had a wonderful holidays. I drank so much eggnog I could puke. It was delicious. The best one, oh my God, Southern Comfort has one that's like a spiced one. So good. Like, it almost to me tastes like melted ice cream, or ice cream batter, whatever you would call it. It was so good. Oh my God. It's fine. Deliciousness. So yeah. And then we finally got through that whole, like between Christmas and New Year, like that weird time where you don't know your head from your asshole or what time it is. So I'm so glad it's just done. Ugh, gag. Can't handle it. But I want to talk about something, because I know a lot of you all are going to listen to this, and this is going to be you. Okay. It's January 2026. Here we go. New goals. Gotta slay. New year. New me. Signed up for the gym. Signed up for that yoga class. Blah, 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 blah. Just like you always do. Your boy here was doing them. Has done it too. And how long does it take for you to cancel that membership, stop going, and all that? About 3 weeks. All right. You're so fired up, like, and all this stuff in the new year, but nothing really sticks. Yeah. I'm going to stop you before you get back into that same trap, okay? Because January is a lie, Hunty. Like this New Year thing, it's technically a made-up day. It's a made-up holiday. And there's a reason why it fails. And I'm going to dive into that with you today. And I'm going to tell you that there's a different way to do things. And then I have a course that you can go get that will literally walk you through a different way to do things. And I started doing this 4 years ago, and it changed my life. It got me not to where I'm kind of like deconstructed out of the system a little bit. It got me to where like January is now something I look forward to. And I don't start, going crazy with new goals and all that stuff, and realized and kind of woke up to the bullshit, because it's designed to keep you in hustle culture. And there was a time that we did not go with this Gregorian calendar. There was a time where we worked with nature more. We listened to nature. And then somewhere along the way, they came in and fucked that up and shifted to a Julian calendar into the Gregorian calendar stuff, which is really tied to like basically for taxes, to like be a clean cut to start the new year for tax stuff and tax collection, and really religious stuff, that they changed everything. And they got rid of when we followed the moon and would do and go with nature. And that's why it feels odd, because if you take a look around, depending where you're at, especially in the northern hemisphere, look around. Things are dead, Hunty. Like, it's winter time. Do you think bears are out here trying to, like, do it? No, bitch. They are deep into a cave. They are fat as fuck. They have no cares in the world besides sleep. So they work their ass off during summer and fall to like be able to go hibernate and rest and relax and then come back out in the spring when they're going to do it all over again. Trees are dead. Things are dead. It's kind of like this grayscale outside. There's no green tree. All the water is in the trunk, in the trees. Like the plants have let go of the flowers, all that stuff. But yet here we are coming off of 2025 looking like a squirrel that got electrocuted at a rave that's done one too many lines of cocaine, just like trying to get by and barely survive 2025, girl. And you think January 1, you gonna be miraculously the Energizer Bunny and be able to slay your goals? These new abso-fucking-lutely not. That is why it fails. It's in a system to keep it failing. No. It's in a system to keep you doing, and burnt out is exactly what it is. So I'm here to say, absolutely not. We're going to stop. Fuck that old mentality. I'm going to show you a new way, all right? And how this all came about. You ready? Strap in. Okay, so some things here about the January. It's a human invention. Again, like I said, like it's come about. The Gregorian calendar was more political and a religious construct, not a nature-based system. All right. So, brief history of the Gregorian calendar. Here you go. It's plain English. Before the Gregorian calendar, many civilizations used lunar or lunisolar calendars, meaning months are based on the moon cycles. All right. We used to have 13 months. Every single month had 28 days, and it went with the moon, the new moon, full moon, down to the full moon again, and 1 day of rest. All right. We used to have that. Years were aligned with seasons, agriculture, and celestial events. All right. The new year often began in spring. You know, when things start to wake the fuck back up again and everything starts to grow and starts to greening up and all this stuff. You know, nature comes alive, all right? But then the Romans had to come in and they had to fuck shit up, all right? Early Roman calendars originally started the year in March, which was great. March was named after Mars, the god of war and action. Hello, action. Spring equals movement, growth, planting, campaigns, expansion, all this stuff, all right? March 1 used to be the new year, all right? If you look at the Gregorian calendar, September equals the 7th month. October equals should be the 8th month. November used to be the 9th month. December used to be the 10th month because January and February were added later. So they used to line up with their actual like October being the 8th month. But no, they were like, absolutely not. January 1 became the new year. And that was, God, that thing goes back to like Julius Caesar. And that's what, 46 BC on through there? The Julian calendar. So they added January, named after Janus, or Janus, whoever you want to say it, the Roman god of doorways, beginnings, and transitions. So basically, January was chosen for administrative purposes and the symbolism about like, it's saying here, Janus faces backward and forward, symbolizing reflection and future planning. So it was a good day to just reset, boom. And it was more done for like the taxes, all right? So that was the Julian calendar. The Gregorian calendar came in by the 1500s. The Julian calendar was drifted out of alignment with the solar year. So things were really not lining up. They're like, oh, we tried to fuck with old man time and it's not really doing a good job anymore. So in 1582, Pope Gregory the 13th introduced the Gregorian calendar to realign Easter with the spring equinox, stabilize religious observances, standardize timekeeping across Christian Europe. Okay? Countries were literally ordered to skip days to make the math work. All right? The calendar fixed astronomical drift, centered religious authority, and spread globally through colonization. All right? And it's still the calendar that we use today. So when it became the most dominant, they moved away from lunar cycles, which is interesting because working with nature, lunar cycles, a very pagan way to go through, religion had to come in and say, let's fuck it up like we do everything and get people out of line with nature. We don't want them worshiping nature. We want them on our stuff, all right? So, and with the lunar system and all that, like that is literally more of a body-based system. It's like working with nature, working with your body. It's more in tune with that. And this Gregorian calendar's come along and like, no. All right, it came in through and replaced nature and working with lunar stuff with fixed dates and linear productivity and deadlines and all this stuff. So, in January, nature is dormant. It's resting. It's regenerating. It's waiting. But yet, in January, they expect humans to just, oh, new year, here we go. Got to start Q4 or Q1 all over again. New year, here we go. So that is very far off from what we used to do, all right? The new year, the technical new year is not January 1st. It's the spring equinox, which is usually like around March 19th to the 21st. And if you really want to get technical, April used to be the first month. That's why April Fool's Day used to be like Fool's Day for thinking that it's not. So that is when the sun, when everything starts to be longer, like the days start to get longer and the start of spring. That's when nature starts to wake up. That's whenever things start to be like, oh, these seeds that we planted start cracking open, all this good stuff. So that is the that is the new year, and it's the astrological new year. Aries, it's the first sign. And so that is the more time for us, like when we used to, back in the day, that's when we used to get going. That's when we used to really start moving with nature again. January, honey, we used to rest. Like, that's where, like, you had to rest. You had all the food, you had all the wood chopped, you had everything you needed, and you went inside to survive. You kept the fire going. Like, that was your job, to go in and do nothing but rest. So that way in the spring and all stuff, you had the energy. So along the way, we got so far off of that. And then now it's been, the holidays has been so consumerized and all that, to be like, oh, start, like, and you see so much advertising right now to really hit everything in, like, oh, new year, new you, new year, new you, got to start that gym, got to start this new supplement, got to start this, got to start that. You made all that Christmas money, what are you going to invest in? So it's turned into a thing, but there's a reason why you can keep it up for maybe 2 weeks. Hell, I can barely get into 2 weeks, into it. And I'm like, I'm lucky if I get 2 days into it. And I'm like, fuck this, boom. And it's because you're going against your very nature of what you're designed to do in January. All right. So I'm here to tell you, you've been lied to. You're part of it. You're part of the system. It's part of unplugging out of the matrix and realizing, be like, this is a fucking construct, and it's designed to keep me fucking burnt out. So we're gonna change that here. Let's real talk a little bit. All right. What we're gonna do is we're not gonna do shit in January. All right. The reason why your goals fail is because you remember that squirrel at a rave, done one too many lines, looked electrocuted. You just survived a hellish year. Like, you've literally spent probably hardly any time resting since last January. You have been going, especially you entrepreneurs out there, my aesthetics business people. Yeah, you know what it's like, hustle culture. And you just survived the holidays. You just survived one of the most difficult quarters of the year, Q4, when everybody's trying to get in, get that last appointment, get that, all this stuff. You're exhausted. And probably along the way, you never stop to reflect on the previous year. When in January do you really stop to reflect on, like, I need to sit my ass down, slow down, and I want to reflect on last year. I want to celebrate the good times. I want to see what I accomplished last year. And actually maybe, celebrate my accomplishments for a change, instead of like climbing one mountain and then getting to the top exhausted and having to climb to the next one. No. Celebrate. But also reflect. Reflection is huge. Reflection is huge. And we don't do it enough. Because if we don't reflect and stop and take the time to reflect, what do we do? We keep the same programming that we've been running on. We keep the same beliefs. We keep the same habits that we were doing in their previous year into the new one. And then you try to throw these New Year resolutions, these New Year, new me things, all right? The body and your nervous system does not like change. It does not like change. It's scientifically proven to hate change, all right? Think about it. You hate change. When people change stuff at a job or anything like that, people hate it. We like our comfort zone, all right? But you think miraculously January 1, you're just going to be like, if you've spent an entire year deep throating Oreos like it's your job bar, but while deep binging Netflix for 8 hours a day, aka me, and you think miraculously you're going to change your habits in January and keep up with them, abso-fucking-lutely not. You've got another thing coming. All right. Your body is going to try, but it's such a shock to the system that it's like, oh, hell no. Like, go to that gym that first week and you work out. You're like, hell yeah, I'm going hardcore. Yes, bitch, here we go. And then the DOMS hit in, the delayed onset muscle soreness kick in and start kicking your ass on day 2 and 3. And you're so sore for about a week and a half that you're like, fuck this. AKA, that was me every single January. I would go to the gym and be like, oh my God, doing no physical activity other than lifting nothing heavier than a syringe pretty much to inject. Like, and thinking I'm going to go power woman in a gym and do like all kinds of 50 squats and all that stuff. Hell no. I was sore than anything I can even imagine. My body hated me. And do you think I'm going to keep up that? No, it was such a shock to my system. And my system's like, bitch, take me to the gym one more time. I'm going to cause you to have a heart attack. Like, it ain't doing this. How many of that's you? If it is, comment below. Like, you shock the system doesn't like change, and it's no. So you can't keep up those new habits because they're not habits yet. Your old way of doing things is going to creep back in. Or you're going to shock your system. It's too bad. And you're going to be like, screw this. I'm not doing it. Or you try it and it's so out of your routine and so out of your normal that if you make too many changes in your life at once, it shocks the system and it's hard for you to make it into a habit. Yeah, that's why we fail at these New Year, New Me, New Year resolution stuff. You're tired. You haven't rested. You haven't reflected. And you haven't really looked back and be like, what programming has been running my life? What habits do I have that weren't very healthy? Who was the person in 2025? And taking the time to rest and acknowledging that you're tired. And that like you're trying to go in a period where nature's telling you, bitch, no, you need to slow down. Then taking the time to reflect on what needs to change in order to become the person that can actually create new habits, that can create lasting change in their life to do things differently in this new year. That is where the magic lies, not in coming out of the rave electrocuted, all the stuff, and then January 1, all right, here we go, when literally the Energizer Bunny is dead. Like, that is a false narrative. That is false advertisement. Energizer Bunny keeps going and going and going and going. No, your batteries don't fucking keep going, and the only thing keeps going is the price, up and up and up, and the batteries don't last as long, so fuck off, Barbara. Like, that's a lie. You are not the Energizer Bunny. You are tired. So January, this is me signing your permission slip to fucking pause. That's what we're doing this January. We're not doing a damn thing, all right? Yes, you can go into your work, you can do your thing, but this is not the time to be like, all right, what are we going to do? No, this is the time for you to take a big fucking TED Talk lesson from nature, slow your ass down, sit your ass down, lay your ass down, and fucking rest. That's all you need to do in January. All right? Because the new year isn't until March. You got time. So January, we are going to do fucking nothing. We are going to rest unapologetically. We're not going to put the pressure on ourselves. You realize the only person putting pressure on you is you. Yeah, you might have outside pressures like the job and all that stuff, but like, especially if you're an entrepreneur, honey, you're putting your own pressure. Oh, I gotta, who's telling you gotta do? You are? Well, society is it's your choice to believe it or not. Take the pressure off of yourself and just be for a second, all right? Do nothing. Rest. Recharge. Do the work that you have to get by, but January is not the time to make the most money you've ever made in your life. I'm here to tell you, your attachment to money is a big fucking problem in your life. rewind that, press the back 15 or 30 seconds and listen to it again. Your attachment to money is the biggest thing fucking up your life. There is more to life than money, honey. And money and this hustle culture is why you're tired. It's why you're exhausted. It's why you are asleep to the fact that you're in this same system and on this hamster wheel of doing this exact same thing over and over and over again. And come January, you're like, okay, here we go, but why do I fail? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, is literally the definition of insanity. So how about we do things differently this year? I mean, you haven't won in the last time and in several years past, so how about we try something different? Okay? That's what we're going to do. January's rest. And it's a pause moment for you to take a look back at the previous year. For you to be like, hey, let's look at our wins. Let's celebrate the hell out of them. And let's see what I want to continue to bring into 2026. Maybe things I want to start doing in 2026. And maybe things that I'm going to stop doing in 2026. And reflecting on being like, what were some good attributes of who I was, this person, this year? What was the wins? And celebrate the hell of it. Celebrate them hardcore. Get that bottle of wine. Chug it. But also, what's some traits that I maybe and habits or bad habits that I picked up or how I was behaving that I really don't want to carry into 2026. Unless you sit your ass down, busy Betty, and actually reflect, you're never going to know. You're going to keep repeating the same cycle, running on the same programming, doing the same habits, and getting the same results. All right? And I'm here to tell you, it's really not your fault. It's the system. It's the conditioning of the system. All right? They want you in it because they win. All right? You need to wake up and choose to step out of it. Okay? That's what we're doing in January. And then in February, after, oh my God, your body actually gets the rest that it deserves, then we start to maybe plant the seeds a little bit. We start to plant the seeds in our mind. The ground's probably still frozen, so we're not really planting anything, but we can start to move around out of some hibernation a little bit. And we can start thinking of what we want to accomplish. Because when you actually rest and realize, your priorities might change. You might realize, I'm not working like that like I used to. That's what got me burned out. That's what's keeping me sick. That's what's keeping me stuck. You might find that you want to start a new hobby because you're like, oh my God, I'm rested. I actually have the energy to do something new. All right? We start planning those ideas and things that we want to kind of do. And then in March, whenever things actually line up with the actual new year, then we start to take action. Because, and here's the thing, you're going to have energy for said actions because you took the time to slow the fuck down, reflected and paused, and took time for yourself. Your battery is now at 100% versus you trying. Have you ever tried to work your phone whenever there's 20 tabs open and you have 5% battery? This is what your phone looks like. Glitching out, honey, because it doesn't have the power to keep all those tabs open. It starts to malfunction. You are the same way. And I'm here to tell you, at the end of 2025, your battery was at 1%, even if that probably 0.1%. All right, but you still have 58 million tabs open. And you fully expect that come January, you going to fucking magically be able to do it? No, you going to glitch out, honey. That's what's happening, all right? You don't need to add more to your plate. You need to subtract, all right? That is you. That is why you don't keep up with your New Year's resolutions or your goals, all right? There's a different way. The old calendar, gross, all right? Fuck your January 1st. It's a lie. It's a lie. Accept it now, and you'll have a happy new year, okay? So, when you do that, and you get the energy, come March, and you start it with a more natural rhythm, you are going to be completely mind blown at how different you slay your goals this year. You're going to be mind blown at the energy that you have. You're also going to be mind blown that you actually succeed. But the biggest mind blowing thing is that when you slow down, it gives you a chance to realize, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? And reflecting on everything, you might realize that some of your goals actually change. Because some of the goals you're chasing are goals based on shoulds. You're shoulding all over yourself. All right? Shoulds. Oh, I should do this. I should do that. Who told you that? Well, I've got to do this. My other people, well, the competition, all this. No. When you slow down and you actually reflect on what you want, and why are you chasing these goals? Why are you hustling like this and not giving yourself rest? And you actually sit down and get really real with yourself, and you're like, whoa, suddenly you can focus on what you want in life. And a lot of the times, especially for me, I was realizing like I'm chasing a life I never wanted. I looked up and I was like, well, I got to have this big, like 7-figure med spa. I've got to have like the 18 people. I got to have all these rooms filled. Why? Well, everybody else is doing it. That's what that's success in this industry. If we're not doing that in aesthetics, then I'm failing. I'm not it. Who told you that? Along the way, I realized I was making the most money I'd ever made. And I looked up and I was living in this dream I thought that I wanted, but it was a dream that was shaped and conditioned by what other people were telling me that I should want. And when I really realized it, I was like, fuck, I'm miserable. It's the most miserable I'd ever been. The most money, though. Are we supposed to be so happy? Money makes you happy. Bullshit. Money causes more problems. You look up and realize, wow, I am in a life I thought I wanted, but the reason why I'm not happy is because it wasn't truly in alignment with what I wanted. What's my definition of success? What's my definition of a successful aesthetics business or whatever business you're in? Not what other people or an industry tells me I have to have. And that is the power move, y'all. That is whenever you can stop living a life that other people has designed and living a life full of shoulds, and you can step into a life that you fucking design on your terms, on your definition of success, not others. That's where the true happiness begins. You'll start to go through life a little differently. You'll start to slow down and be like, I don't need to hustle because my other people are hustling. What other people do is none of your business. You'll start to really enjoy life a little bit more, and you'll start to realize you start to slay a lot more goals because you actually have the human capacity to do it because you've allowed yourself to rest and listen to yourself. Okay? Well, Auric, how do we do this? Well, no fear, my dears. I literally have a course for you. Okay? Through this course, you're going to get a big PDF. I think it's like over 46 pages where I literally walk you through this process. There's videos. It's an entire course for you to slow down and teach you how to do this, teach you how to reflect. The PDF is so much fun to do. We start with going through, and you actually get on your phone. Oh my God, who knew? But a way to reflect, and I do it in such a fun way. But I dive into each of your life, and it's in 2 parts. And I really help you understand how to do things differently. And I guarantee you, this is something, once you purchase one, it's $11, sweetie. That's less than 2 Starbucks, all right? If you cannot invest $11 into yourself and into me, like, it's a really fucking good course. Like, one person yesterday was just like, they purchased, and they were like, within 10 minutes, they're like, oh my God, this is life-changing. I'm like, you're welcome. The best $11 that you'll ever spend this year is going to be on this course, all right? The link is going to be below. Click it, fucking get it, no excuses, okay? You can do it. Don't have Starbucks twice. You're fine, all right? And you can come back to this every single year. You'll have it for life. You'll have the PDF that you can duplicate, and I guarantee you, if you trust me, if any of this rang true and was like, wow, you need to get this, all right? It'll show you, I'll walk you every step of the way, and you're going to have fun while doing it. It's really a fun exercise, but you're going to see all the bullshit that you were trying to carry from previous years and why you're not achieving your goals. To achieve these goals you want is going to require a different person in 2026 than you were in 2025. It's going to require a different person to show up with different habits, healthier habits in this year than it is the previous year. And that person doesn't just magically happen. It causes with intentful rest and reflection. All right? And then we're going to learn how to start setting healthy goals. All right? You get all within this. So, if you want to do things differently this year, here's my permission slip for you to slow down. January's a lie. This is not the new year yet. Nope, absolutely not. It's not even the Chinese New Year yet. We're still in the year of the snake. Like, that's not until, like, what, January 9th or the 20th, somewhere around there, when the Chinese New Year is, when we get into the horse, all right? So if your body is like, God damn it, I don't want to do any of this, listen to it, because it's that your body is screaming at you for a reason. And nature's being like, yeah, this isn't the time. Everything in you is like, this isn't the time. But society will be like, oh, this is the time. You've got to. Yeah, no, not anymore. So listen to that. And I'm here along the way to guide you every single step of the way. It's $11. Get it. I promise it'll change your life. All right? So, slow down, you beautiful bitch, you. January is not the time. Not the time. These feelings you're feeling, totally normal. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just a masterpiece, just as you are, living in a society that's designed to try to keep you small. Yeah. It's time to hibernate. Time to deep throat those Oreos. Time to binge Netflix and do absolutely nothing. And then reflect. And then we're going to slay 2026 come March. All right? I just wanted to chat with you guys about that because I know I was feeling it years ago. And there is a different way. And your boy here has guided this with you. Boom, boom, bam. Easy breezy. Lemon squeezy. I promise. It's worth it. You just got to decide to do things differently for yourself. All right, you beautiful people. Well, that's not the last drop of that tea. I was talking too much, but as I always say, there's the last drop of that tea, sweetie. Mwah. And I will see you in March when you're slaying your fucking goals. I love you.